Now, Ramita, I bet you've been wondering who I chose as your opponent for tonight. Well, let's just say it's time for you to get your karmic justices.
You played with fate like it was a game. Opened closed wounds, then spoke my name. But blood remembers down to the bone. Now every scar is mine alone. Then I rose again with a darker stone. You can take my heaven, but I can raise fucking hell.
Away. Karma's back, people. Last we knew, Ramita locked her way in her rage prison with Hobbsy. Can she put those scales in the favor of justice and equality once again tonight by becoming the new WWE World Happiness Champion once again? Let's see. Ramita retains her championship, but only because of the disqualification after she snapped with rage over not knowing how Karma escaped that rage prison, which Karma remained tight-lipped about.
How did you freaking escape my rage prison, Karma?
I'm not telling how I escaped. That's for me to know and you to find out.
My name is Hobbsy, and welcome to the Happiness Fighters Army, an army or community where we fight for happiness, our health, our dreams against our own version of our own darkness, be mental, physical, life situations, and the big bad world right now. Well, that's Night Champions done and dusted. It wasn't a great PLA, but it was good what they gave us. And speaking about Night Champions, in taking on my rivals in WWE Skit Series, the next chapter is going to be very interesting, seeing that Karma has made her comeback at Night of Champions and is now in Ramita's head. After losing the World Happiness Championship title shot she had against Ramita at Night of Champions and not telling her how she escaped Ramita's rage prison. And I can't wait for you guys to see the WWE second women's PLE Evolution storyline. It is epic. I will just say it's cosmic. So let's get on with the review of WWE Night of Champions, shall we? Now, before I actually get into any matches, I want to say that I was just watching this so much that I didn't take much notes. Plus, I'm a bit tired and run down at the moment, so this was like an escape for me. So I'm sorry if I miss things or mispronounce things. It's just that I didn't take many notes for the whole PLE. So we start with the first match of the night, and that is the King of the Ring finals between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Now, I wasn't going either man. I was going both. They both deserved to be King of the Ring. And this match was a pretty good way to start off the show, I will admit. And yeah. So first off, the crowd went nuts in excitement before the match even started. And this isn't the first time they did this in the night. And I like that. I really do. But sometimes it takes away from the match actually getting started properly. So that's my little dig on that. But when the match did get started, it rolled on. And at one point we had a suplex by Randy off the top rope. And that sort of tweaked his back. And this would play a major factor into the match for the rest of the night. Like, you know when you pull a nerve? When you do some sort of exercise or housework or something? That's what I think this was in this situation. And I hope Randy's back isn't re-injured. I just hope it's just like a pull nerve and something that he can just rest and recuperate from. But it shows the determination on how much he wanted that crown. So I really like that bit. And of course, Cody sees that, and like any wrestler, takes the opportunity to work on it and wraps Randy on around the ring post, back to ring post wise. So it's a smart move in my eyes. We had a power slam by on at one point, We had a Cody cutter off the top rope at one point. We had an RKO turn into Crossroads, all in one move. We had another RKO. And then at one point it looked like Randy was going to go for the punt, but he couldn't do it. Like, the friendship there was stopping it. And then it turned into a figure 4 leg lock by Cody, but then Randy flipped it, so then Cody had to let go or get to the ropes. Another RKO, and then at one point Randy's temper got to him and he's just like, I'm gonna grab a chair, I don't care how I win, sort of thing. The ref sees it, takes the chair off him, but then Randy undoes the turnbuckle in the other corner and goes to get Cody into that corner, but Randy goes into that corner instead. And then we have Crossroads and a 1, 2, 3. And that's how Cody became King of the Ring for 2025. Or as I like to call it, the King of Nightmares. Or the King of American Nightmares, if you want to be technical. So, yeah. Congratulations to our new King of the Ring 2025 winner, Cody Rhodes. And nothing against Orton, he gave a hell of a performance. If I had it my way, you guys would both be King of the Ring in my eyes. But yeah, so it looks like Cody's going to either face CM Punk or John Cena at this point of the night. And I was hoping more so it would be John Cena. I really was. The rematch makes sense in my eyes, but we don't know at this point in the night. Then they hand him the crown, have a little interview after the match, and he thanks Randy for the hell of a match that they both had and showing his respect, sort of thing. And then he says, I'll get the ball back. So he's on his path. So I think he's on his path to get the ball back or the title back around his waist. And I love this. Now, where I think I can see this going, there's possibilities endless, but I am not going to say until we get to the John Cena and CM Punk match, otherwise it would ruin it. So, yeah. Congratulations, Cody. And then we had the announcement that helped Finance and Dreamcrusher defeat me and take away any chance of me becoming Ultimate Dream Champion at WWE TakeOver Perth. And what I mean by Ultimate Dream Champion is to meet fellow Happiness Fighter Army member and the woman that has kept me going, fighting against my darkness day in, day out, the man Becky Lynch in my home country of Australia. And the way that Finance and Dreamcrusher, which is my financial situation, being on an Australian financial welfare system, and Dreamcrusher is my dreams getting crushed once again, is that WWE announced the combo tickets of Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, and Crown Jewel when they go on sale. The pre-sale is on June 30th. I don't know if this video has come out. I don't know if this video will come out before that or after it, probably after it. And then the general sale goes on July 2nd. And there's no amount of money I can come up with quick enough to be there. So I have to face facts. I'm not going to WWE TakeOver Perth unless someone wants to lend me the money or gets it for me for my birthday, which I know my family and friends will not be able to do. They're in a similar situation as I am with their own financial situations. Or the only other thing is if WWE, WWE Australia, Netflix Australia, WWE On Location, or Sportnet Holiday want to send me there as a representative of their company and maybe interview some WWE superstars. All they have to do is just pay for my flights, accommodation, and tickets to all 3 shows. But yeah, it looks like Yo's not going anymore unless that happens, and it's a sad thing because I've never been to a Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. I've never been. I've always wanted to go ever since I was a little kid, like I did with my dream of going to WWPLE, which I ticked off by going to WWE Elimination Chamber last year. And I've just got this funny feeling we're going to get fellow Happiness Fighter Army members duking out in The Man, Becky Lynch versus South Australia's own Mummy Rhea Ripley again at Crown Jewel. So that is kicking me as well. And it's breaking my heart because going to this is just not watching a PLE or Friday Night SmackDown or Monday Night Raw live. It's also a chance for me to be social and beat social anxiety that I have. It's a way to de-stress in my life, live my life the way I want to, and be free and happy. And it's just something that the darkness of my financial situation, finance and Dream Crusher, which is crushing my dreams again, have taken away. And it just comes at the wrong time as well, because this is around the time I get my birthday blues as someone that never really wanted to celebrate her birthday in the past because of the darkness of her mental health. And knowing that she won't get what she wants for her birthday, and then having not many friends as well. And yeah, it's just the wrong timing and it's killing me. I really, really wanted to go. The only other way I could see me going is if I get a loan, which no one will prove me for, or I commit an illegal crime. People probably are wondering at this point, why so into WWE? Because they were there for me in the darkness moment. They were the friends that I was watching on TV when I had no friends, but my soul sister, of course. And they were there when I was at my worst. They were there at my best. And I just would love to be there. I don't care if I don't meet anybody. I don't care if I don't even meet any fellow Happiness Fighter Army members of Mummy, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Seth frickin' Rollins, or the final boss, The Rock. I don't care. I just want to be there and just be in a place where it feels home and enjoy myself and have happiness. And just, yeah, at the moment it just feels like the universe is like, okay, we're going to hand you all the darkness, all the things that can possibly go wrong, and take away all possibilities of happiness and light and health. As someone that has to deal with her own darkness of depression, anxiety, social anxiety, physical issues such as PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver, vitamin D and B deficiency, which is kicking my butt right now as I'm in a Australian winter time. What else? High blood pressure, which the stress of this isn't helping. Bronchitis, asthma. I've got chilblains at the moment, which anyone that's had this knows that they are freaking annoying. And it just feels like I can't win in this world. I feel like I'm losing my happiness voice. I feel like I'm losing me. I feel like I'm losing joy. My actual legal name is Joy. And I feel like I'm losing myself. Because I just can't win. I can't get a job. I can't make any friends because of my stupid freaking mind. I can't be social. I can't live the life I want. I can't be happy, basically. I just feel like I'm trapped in my darkness prison. Each time I try to break free and fight out of it, it's just like, no, we're going to keep you here. And I can't be a good Happiness Fighter Army general leader if I haven't had my dreams come true. So, yeah. I'm lost, basically. I know it's probably the seasonal depression kicking in and my lack of vitamins and sun, but this is the one thing that could have changed it. If I got to meet Becky Lynch at this PLE, world's my oyster after it. just gives me the validation that I'm doing good. I'm on my right track in my life. But no, the universe is like, nope, we're going to screw with you until the day you die. So, yeah. Sorry for that little breakdown bit. I just had to get it out. Move on to something more happy. Something that makes me happy. And it's to do with a fellow Happiness Fighter Army member, Mummy Rhea Ripley. Yes, the next match straight after this announcement was the street fight match between fellow Happiness Fighter Army member Mummy Rhea Bloody Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, one of my predictions actually did come right. Actually, two did, but I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, no one really went through a table, so that was a sad thing. But this match, brilliant. Both women killed it, and yeah. So let's get on with it, shall we? First off, this was Rhea's first ever street fight match, which I thought she'd been in a street fight match before now, but I was wrong. Also, this was the first ever street fight match in Saudi Arabia, so women are making history again. Love that. At one point, Rhea was trapped in the ropes like this. Like, imagine the ropes around my arms like that. She was trapped, and Raquel was just beating on her. I love that. That really worked. Some of the weapons that were used in this match were kendo sticks, steel steps, announcer's table, actual table, a trash can at one point, and even Rhea's belt off of her own ring gear, which I love. At one point, Rhea had set up the top of the Saudi Arabia announce table on to the ring barriers next to him, where the one that calls the winner, can't remember what it's called in a moment, sits in that area. It was just laying on top, the cover of it, and Rhea was going to slam Raquel into it, but Raquel did a powerbomb with Rhea into that. That was awesome. And then, like I said, Rhea used a belt at one point and whipped Raquel. I was like, yes, go mommy. A razor's edge from Rhea, so I like the little Tara Twin nod there. We had a prison trap by Rhea, and I thought she was going to ram Raquel into the table that was just behind her, but she didn't. And then someone attacks Rhea from behind. And of course, it's Roxanne Perez. And then those two have a little duking out, and she puts Roxanne in a trash can and says, "Welcome to Judgment Day." I love that little eye to detail. So that was just good. That was just good storytelling in my eyes. And then in the end, there was, say my hands are the ring. Say this is the ring corner. There was a table laid across like that. Rhea climbs on top of the table with Raquel, does an avalanche riptide from the top of that, gets the 1, 2, 3, and wins the match. I'm happy Rhea won. She finally got the redemption over Raquel, and I just think it was a great way to end this match as well. Both Mummy and Raquel brought the fire, the passion in this match. I could feel the heat through the TV so much that it was warming me up. It is so freaking cold here back in South Australia, and I needed that heat, so thank you to both of them. And in the post-show, Mummy did say she had some bruised ribs, so Mummy, Rhea, just take the time off. Don't care if you're not on Monday Night Raw, you don't have to be. And where could I see Rhea going from here? It's very interesting. Depending what happens with the tag team titles, that's the thing. I could see maybe Raquel wanting retribution, maybe attacking Rhea from behind, backstage, and then maybe setting up a tag team match if Raquel is put with Roxanne, and then Nikki could be with Mummy. That's what I really want, and then they use Twin Magic to win the titles. But she did say she wanted to go for the top title again, so we could get Io versus Mummy again. Or we could get Tiffy versus Rhea if they're going to think about moving her to SmackDown, which I think they should, because then they could have Mummy on SmackDown with Priest. Terra Twins works out for a while. But then before WWE TakeOver Perth, she wins the WWE Women's Championship. Becky wins the Women's World Championship. Crown Jewel, those two go at it. If it's champion versus champion. That's what I want to see. And moving Mummy to SmackDown would work. So, congratulations, Mummy. You deserve all the praise. You deserve the rest. And just keep on killing it until you make it back on top, I say. Then we move on to Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, I wasn't going either man for this. I was in a win-win situation. And I really enjoyed this match. I really did. So glad that Karrion Kross is finally getting the recognition that he deserves and getting pushed. Notes I've taken for this match are that Sami started off dominating in this match, but then Karrion Kross came back and dominated. At one point, Karrion Kross was on the outside of the ring and Scarlett whispered something to him, and then he just dominated over Sami a bit more. We had a Kross Ham turn into a blue thunder bomb at one point. At one point, Karrion Kross looked like he was down and out, but he was just playing possum. I love those mind games from Karrion Kross, I really do. A cross hammer after a halloumi kick, all in one move as well. At one point, Karrion Kross had a chokehold. I can't remember what it was called, but a chokehold on Sami, and Sami looked like he was down and out, and the ref did like the one arm down, two arm down, and then Sami like, nope, I'm not giving in, and he got to the ropes, and Karrion had to break the hold. At one point, Karrion was beating up on Sami, and he said, "You're a liar, tell the truth," sort of thing. In the end, Sami did the halloumi kick. 1, 2, 3, he got the win. I didn't see Sami losing in Saudi Arabia, but I would have liked to see that. That would have been epic. Where I can see this going is basically still continuing out. Karrion could attack Sami backstage and no one knows who did it and then it's him. But if they want to move him on from Sami, let him go after Orton. I reckon Killer versus Legend Killer. Why not? So now that we have an all-women's second PLE coming up, we need to push Scarlett more. Get her into a match. And get her wrestling a little bit more. I don't think she has to wrestle like every month or every week. Just more matches here and there. Who could she go up against? Maybe Natty? Maybe the Dungeon Dolls? Scarlett finds someone else to team up with, maybe? That's just off the top of my head, but yeah, I really want to see Scarlett in that ring wrestling more. Then we move on to the United States Championship match between Jacob Fatoui and Solo Sikoa. Now, I'm going Jacob Fatoui all the way with this. And Solo was just jealous. So, yeah, I'm a Jacob Fatoui girl now. So, yeah. So they both make their entrances. The ring announcer starts announcing like he does, like introducing the challenger and the champion, and then Solo's like, I'm not waiting, I'm just gonna go full in. And I respect that by Solo, but it could have waited a little bit. It went savage mode, basically, in the beginning. But it doesn't keep Fatoui down for long. We had a flying clothes horse off of the step by Fatoui at one point, outside the ring. At one point, Solo's like got a chokehold on Fatoui and he's trash talking him at the same time. And then JC comes out later in the match. You're thinking, okay, fair enough. They're working together. And then the mystery person comes in while the ref is dealing with JC. And it's Tongaloa. We finally have Tongaloa back. We have not seen Tongaloa since Survivor Series. And these two try to interfere in the match, but it doesn't work. So the match is still continuing. But because Fatoui takes them out. And then we have another mystery person come in. takes Fatui out, Solo does a solo spike, and becomes the new US champion. Now, I had to Google search this mystery last opponent person, and it's Haiku or Haikua. Sorry mispronouncing the name, it's just I can't pronounce it pretty well yet. They'll probably announce it properly on SmackDown this week. But he's basically the muscles now of Solo's little fraction. Where I could see this going, simple. Put Jimmy there, put Tama Tonga in there, and maybe even Jay if he wants to, or Roman, or another Bloodline member, and then at Survivor Series, War Games, these two do get out. But yeah, I reckon this feud ain't over. Not by a long shot. Then we move on to the Queen of the Ring finals between The Storm, Jade Cargill, and the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Now, I was either way. Both women deserve it. This was an interesting match. I love this. I'm going to say best outfit of the night has to go to Jade Cargill. Storm Queen outfit, baby. I love this. It was remind me of like Storm from X-Men if she was like a queen. I love this outfit. So she gets the award for best night of champion outfit in my eyes. It was a dragon corkscrew by Asuka that injured Jade's leg a little bit. So you know Asuka's going to work on the leg. It's just wrestling rule 101. If you have an injury in a match, you go work on it, especially if you're a heel, which I see them doing more now with Asuka. Asuka does a knee bar onto that injured leg of Jade's as well. Have a sit-up powerbomb at one point by Jade. We have an armbar by Asuka at one point. Asuka lock at one point as well by Asuka. But in the end, Jade got jaded and 1, 2, 3 becomes the Queen of the Ring for 2025. The Queen of Storm is here and I love this. And then they have the after interview announcement after handing in the crown, and she basically said the Storm is coming this summer. So I see her facing either Tiffany or Naomi at SummerSlam, depending if Naomi cashes in before SummerSlam. If not, she could cash in at SummerSlam and do like Priest did to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 40, where he cashed in on Drew after the match. I could see that for Naomi. The way I want SummerSlam to really play out is simple. Naomi cashes in before SummerSlam, wins the title off of Tiffany, then it's Jade and Naomi, but then also Bianca comes back and somehow gets worked into this match, so it's a women's triple threat match between Jade Cargill, Bianca and Naomi for the WWE Women's title. It'd be like the WrestleMania 35 match between Charlotte, Becky and Ronda in my eyes, like the next generation of that. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you think that should play out as well. I really think this is the way that they're going to go with SummerSlam, with these three great women. Now, Asuka, I know. You could have her face Io at Women's Evolution now, and then whoever wins out of that, Mummy faces at SummerSlam, or even Becky. Maybe that's how Becky becomes 2 belts. Maybe we have a rematch between Becky and Asuka for the WWE Women's World Championship. That would be interesting. But yeah, that's how I see both competitors in the Queen of the Ring finals at Night Champions story continuing. So yeah. Then we move on to the final match of the night, and that is CM Punk versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, I was fingers crossed hoping Punk would not win this match. You guys know I hate Punk, just like Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. So yeah, that was my big hopes for this match. And yeah, so let's get on with it, shall we? Because this match basically saved the show in my eyes. Otherwise, it would have just been a dull show, bar the Rhea and Raquel match and the King and the Queen of the Rings. But yeah, this match was the match of the night in my eyes. in the men's. In the women's, it's Brie and Raquel, of course. But yeah, the crowd went so nuts that this match took a while to get into properly. So thank you, Saudi Arabia, for that. At one point, Punk mocks John Cena with "You can't see me," and I'm just like, come on. We had a little nod to AJ Lee, his wife, with him doing a modified octopus lock, a signature move that AJ Lee would use. Vince's Cena at one point with "You can't see me," which I love this. And at one point we had a "Go to Sleep" by Punk turned into an STFU. We had our first AA of this match by John Cena. We had our first STFU by John Cena in this match. Another AA again. We had at one point Cena reverse a crossbody from Punk into an AA. And then at one point John's like, I'm just going to grab the belt and win with my signature smack him in the head move. And I was hoping this was happening. I really did. This is the one person I don't care if he did it to. But then the fans were like, no, don't do it. And he listened to him. So maybe he's slowly turning back towards us fans again. Fingers crossed. And Punk gets a GTS on John at one point. John does a shoulder tackle onto CM Punk, but then he goes for a second one, but then misses Punk and knocks out the ref. So the ref gets knocked out in this match. So I'm like, what's going on? Is this match going to end? What's going to happen? CM Punk at one point, when the ref is down and out, pins him and gets the 1, 2, 3, but the ref doesn't see him because he's knocked out. So thank God the ref was not. Otherwise, I would not be as happy as I am right now. So thank God for that. And then CM Punk's like, okay, fine, get ref out here. And guess whose music starts playing? Fellow Happiness Fighter Army member Seth frickin' Rollins. And I'm like, Seth Rollins here? Seth Rollins? Because I was hoping Seth Rollins would be in Saudi Arabia. I didn't care if his wife Becky was not there. I wanted to list Seth there. And he was. And he came out with his Oracle, Paul Heyman, and his dog, Breaker, and his auxiliary, Bronson Reed. And yeah, it looks like he's going to cash in. And I'm just like so excited. I'm so happy. I'm like, please screw Punk out of the title. Please screw Punk out of the title. I really am like Seth Rollins. I hate Punk as much as he does. And then he's just like, sort of like that, and just says to his, I'm going to call him his goons, or the Bronsons. We'll call them the Bronsons, to go attack Punk, and they do. They take him out for a while. And then it looks like Seth's going to cash in. He's calling for a ref. But John attacks that ref, and then those two had a little squabble. So I'm like, okay, maybe we're getting John Cena versus Seth Rollins at one point. At this point, you didn't know if the match was over or not as well. So I'm like, is this match just going to end like this, or what's going on? And we had John do an AA onto Seth, but then the Bronsons attack John. But then we hear someone else's music. Penta! Penta comes out, tries to take out Bron Breakker, does not work, and starts getting beaten down by Bron Breakker. And then we hear someone else's music again. Sami Zayn. Yes, Sami comes to Penta's aid, tries to take out Bron Breakker, and those two have a little feud sort of thing outside near the ramp. And then Penta's on top of the ramp here, say. Sami and Bron Breakker down there, and Penta just dives off the top. I was like, that's zero fear for you. And then in the ring, we have Bronson Reed and CM Punk still, and Bronson Reed does a tsunami onto CM Punk. So thank you, Bronson Reed, for doing that. I love that. I love the tsunami. Really love that. Then Cena picks up Bronson Reed and does an AA onto him. I'm like, that's true strength from Cena. And then those two just go off, sort of thing. And then it's CM Punk and Cena in the ring. CM Punk sticks out his hand to shake and just be like, okay, is this how the match is going to end? They just shake and they go their own way. And so Cena shakes his hand, but then has that I'm gonna screw you look on his face, and he does. But then Seth comes in, does a stomp onto CM Punk. John takes out Seth, gets the pin, and wins and retains the undisputed WWE Championship. And thank frickin' God. If CM Punk had that title, we would not stop hearing about it. So thank you to the GOAT and 17-time WWE Champion, John Cena. Now, where could I see this possibly going? Simple. You have Cody that's run King of the Ring, so he's definitely going to be facing John Cena sometime soon. But I really would love to see Ron Killings go after that title and take it off John Cena. So, but I feel like we're still getting that, but just not until after SummerSlam now. And I feel like we might get Seth versus John at Saturday Night Main Event now. If not, it's simple. John has another title match against somebody. Seth cashes it in. Then at SummerSlam, it's Cody Rhodes versus fellow Happiness Fighter Army member Seth freaking Rollins. I don't see Cody versus John anymore. It's just too predictable. Because if you have that, then he's like, Cody wins the match. What goes next? I think we have Seth, and then yeah, there are all the matches. What went down at Night of Champions. And if I had to give a rating out of 10 smiley faces for Night of Champions, it's going to be 8.5. It wasn't great, like, oh my god, I'm happy, I'm excited, but it wasn't too bad either. So with that, I'm ending the video here. I hope you guys are having a nice, warm, smiley day. If not, I'm sending nice, warm, smiley hugs your way.